This is chapter 11, part 2 of finding statistics using the calculator or with different types of diagrams. So here we have the same data that we used in the video 1 that we did, part 1. So here we have certain numbers. I've already put them in order from least to greatest. We've already found the average and the median, the mode. We already did all that. Now let's talk about what a dot plot is, a frequency table, and a histogram. So on a dot plot, what you're going to do is basically look at, you're going to draw like a number line, and you're going to have equal intervals. Now you have to kind of decide what equal intervals you want. I'm just going to do from 4. So I'm going to start at 34, and I'm going to go to 38. I'm just going to count by 4s. All right, so you don't have to count by 4s. You can count by 5s or 2s or 1s. Whatever you want to be able to do this, to be able to get it finished. All right, and a dot plot literally is, I'm just going to put a dot for each one of those data. So 34 is right here. I'm going to put a dot. And 39 is right here. 46, 49. Notice I put it right before 50, and 51 is right past it. 56 is right in between 54 and 58. Another 56, and another 56. 61, and then 72. So that's all that a dot plot is. It's just basically a bunch of dots. Now, a frequency table, again, if we use the exact same measurements counting by 4s, you don't have to. Again, you can do groups of 5 or whatever the range is, but you're going to do something very similar. And so you have the range and the frequency. And this is kind of like a little tally sheet. So if we did the range of 34 to 38, there's one of them in that range, 34 to 38. And then we did 39 to 43, there's one in that range. And I'm going to keep going on, 44 to 48, there's 2. All right, so it's just a simple tally sheet. Basically, I did it, again, to stay consistent, I did it in groups of 4 up on the dot plot. I did it groups of 4 on the frequency range. The range goes from 34 to 38, which actually is 5 numbers. But, so anyway, I did like a little tally sheet, and you can see the majority of the numbers. You can see where it hits in that range right there. You can see it up on this data as well. To be able to do that. Now let's talk about a histogram. A histogram is very similar to a bar graph. A lot of times when you draw a histogram, people just call them bar graphs. There's a slight difference between them. Histograms have to do with numbers, and bar graphs typically talk about groups of something, some sort of colors, or group A, group B, group C. Whereas histograms look like bar graphs, but just with numbers. So it's the same idea. What I like doing is to envision this. If you literally take this right here, but then you rotate it, it's going to literally look like that same thing. So what you're going to do, and I'm going to try to fit it in this little space that I have. So if I draw my graph right here, and this is frequency 1, 2, and 3. That's my frequency. And I'm going to literally put a little jagged edge because it doesn't start at 0. And I'm going to do 34 to 38, same categories. And notice it only happens one time right there. So I'm just going to literally do a bar graph right there, 34. Looks like a bar graph, 34 to 38. And then each one of the intervals are the same thing. So 39 to 43. And notice it's 1 as well. And then 44 to 48, And you got the idea. That's twice, so it's going to go up 2. I went ahead and finished the graph with my limited space that I have here, but so each one of those is, again, same thing as representative as the frequency table is the histogram. Again, it looks like a bar graph, but it just with numerical values. Again, it still has the ranges, 34 to 38 is what I have up here. And it's 39 to 43, same thing I have up here. It's the same information as this, okay? Same exact information, just the difference between a bar graph or a histogram and like a frequency table, which looks like a tally sheet. So those are 3 different ways to plot or graph the same data. And then one last thing, again, with the same set of numbers, create a stem and leaf plot. Be sure to add a key to this. So the key helps somebody that's just brand new looking at it, it helps them understand the data. So what you're going to have is literally a stem and a leaf. So let me switch it to highlighter. All right, so a stem leaf plot is you basically have the last digit in the leaf, and then the stem is the first part. So you have, so notice you have 34, and then you have 39. So again, the stem is the first part, and then the leaf is the last part. So that literally represents 34 and 39. And then you got 46, 49. Oops, I skipped a 46. Good to double check. 46, 46, 49. So there's 46, 46, 49. So there's 3 numbers in the 40s. And then you have 51, 56, 56, 56. Okay, so there's 4 in the 50s. And then you have 61, and then you have 72. And so that's a stem leaf. And to add the key, it doesn't make a difference which one you pick, but you have to add a key so that everybody understands. So like 4 vertical slash 6 equals 46. And again, any one of those numbers is fine. You just have to add a key. This is the key, just so that somebody looking at this can actually interpret the data and what that means. All right, so let's quickly talk about a 2-sided stem and leaf plot. So sometimes you might be comparing 2 sets of data, like period 1 and period 2, or team A and team B, or January to February, whatever it is. So you might have a stem, and again, I'm just making up this data, and then you have a leaf, just like normal. So again, I'm just making up this data. So what if I had 33, 5, 6, 8? So again, 35, 36, 38. But then, this could be like team A. Actually, let me put B here and A here. And this could just be 31. And then 40, 40, and 49. And this could be 45 and 47. And 50, 51, 57, and 52, 52, 53, 55. Something like that. So this would be a double stem leaf plot or a 2-sided stem leaf plot, just because you can read it both ways. Again, the stem is the first digit. You've got to do that. You can do the same thing with like a triple digit number as well. Like you might have 120. Like this would be the stem. This would be the leaf. So 120, 121, 122, something like that. So this would be the stem if you had something really big like that. So that's what a stem leaf plot is, or a 2-sided stem leaf plot. So just real quick, you can see another example, different data. And so if I gave you a 2-sided stem and leaf plot, you can, these are 2 quiz scores from 2 classes. So class A, like if you had to read this, if you had to, what are the scores of class A? Well, again, this could just be a quiz scores up to 50 points, a 50-point quiz, or whatever it is. So class A has 09, so it's, or 08, 08, 09. So someone scored an 8, an 8, and a 9. And then again, I'm just looking at this side right here, class A. And then 17, 18, 18, 23, 25, 26, 26. And then you got the 30s, so 30, 31, 31, 35, and 36. And then you have 40, 41, 45, and 49. And again, that's just this side right here. 40, you read each one of those digits that way. And then you would do the same thing with class B. And then 0, 2, 3, 4, 16, 19, etc. Listing all those numbers as well. And then you could find like, class A's average, class B's average, the mode, the median, the mean, the range. You can find different statistics with those and just be able to compare it. You could draw a histogram from class A and a histogram from class B. You could do a dot plot, different a frequency table. You could do a lot of different things with this set of data. So once you have the data, you can draw different types of graphs and interpretations, and then that way you can compare whatever you're doing. It could be grades, it could be scores on a from game 1 to game 2, or county this against this county English scores, or whatever it is, the time that it takes to do whatever, or the how fast or how many weights. My boys were talking about the other day about lifting weights, and how much weights someone did at this competition compared to how many weights this person did on another competition. So whatever you want to compare the data to, you can find all of the different statistics that we've been talking about so far.